Jai Shri Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much, dear devotees, once again for kindly assembling here. We are continuing with our discussion on Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam. Today is the 8th session of the series of talks, and we are studying Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam in great detail. We have studied Cheto Darpanamarjanam and Bhava Davagni Nirvapanam in detail, and now we are studying śreyaḥ-kairava-candrikā-vitaraṇam. This is the point at which we are currently, and at this point we are beginning the 8th session of Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam. Dear devotees, I'd like to begin once again with the newly composed verse for this verse of Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam. Śikṣāṣṭakamritābdhavyo majjan majjayati svakan sagaurangastatasthaṁ mam kadabdhau krakshyati swayam. Shiksashtaka amrita abdhavyo majjan majjayati swakan. While drowning himself, majjan, Shri Gauranga simultaneously causes his near and dear one, swakan, to drown in the nectar ocean of Shri Siksastakam. I am a mere bystander, tatastham, waiting at the shore. When will Shri Gauranga forcibly pull me in that nectar ocean? Kada abdhau prakshati swayam. So dear devotees, with this prayer, with this prarthana, we'll begin this 8th session of Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam. I'd like to share a letter that was written by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada to his disciple Shri Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Swami Maharaj. In his book, he recollects a letter that was written to him by his own Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. And I am quoting his words. Prabhu, can you kindly read?
Once, one of our godbrothers was the subject of our Guru Maharaj's stern remark. He was a man of good character, but his tendency was generally towards solitary nam bhajan. He did not like to do any other service, but was only inclined to chant the name of Krishna on his beads. I was in charge of the Delhi temple at the time, and was close to him, so I wrote to Prabhupada, "If you permit, I would like to engage my godbrother in some preaching work here in the Delhi temple."
Right?
The letter that Prabhupada Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur wrote is still here. He wrote to me in his letter, "If you can bring him there and make him help you in the work of preaching, then you will be doing the service of a real friend to him. I don't recognize that sitting in the jungle of Balihati, only chanting, counting beads is Krishnanushilanam, the proper cultivation of Krishna consciousness."
So, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada was always encouraging Sankirtanam, that is, speaking the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, speaking the message of Sri Krishna over solitary japa. This is a central message that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur often gave to all of his disciples. Of course, this does not mean that he was completely against solitary Nam Bhajan. He had many disciples such as Shri Akinchan Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, who were dedicated to Nam Bhajan, which is performed in a solitary manner, and they were also dedicated to Sankirtan. But his preference was to follow the Yuga Dharma, which is Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, speaking the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to others. So this message is brought about very well in this particular excerpt by Sri Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Swami Maharaj, the mood of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur of preferring kirtan over solitary japa. Dear devotees, we are continuing our discussion on the first verse. Cheto darpana marjanam bhavamaha davagni nirvapanam śreyaḥ-kairava-candrikā-vitaraṇam vidyavadhu जीवनम आनंदाम्बुधिवर्धनम प्रतिपदम पूर्णामृता स्वादनम सर्वात्म स्नपनम परम विजयते Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Prabhu, can you kindly read the Anvaya?
It cleanses the mirror of the heart, eradicates the massive wildfire of material existence, causes a moonlight diffusion that blooms the night water lily of all-round auspiciousness, becomes the life and soul of the newlywed bride of all divine knowledge, swells the ocean of joy, causes an experience of complete nectarian bliss in each successive syllable as well as word, and thoroughly cleanses the entirety of oneself. That entity named Shri Krishna Sankirtan reigns supremely victorious.
This is the meaning of the verse, and we are discussing currently śreyaḥ-kairava-candrikā-vitaraṇam. It causes a moonlight diffusion that blooms the night water lily of all-round auspiciousness. In simple words, Shri Krishna Sankirtanam is like the moonlight diffusing from the full moon, and at night the moonlight causes the water lilies to bloom, and this water lily is nothing but Shreya. Now, dear devotees, what is Shreya? Shreya here is translated as all-round auspiciousness. So the auspiciousness for a jiva blooms or blossoms because of the moonlight of Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. This is the simple meaning of the term śreyaḥ-kairava-candrikā-vitaraṇam. Here is the same translation again. And dear devotees, we are continuing to discuss śreyaḥ-kairava-candrikā-vitaraṇam. Last time we saw the various commentators gave their understanding on this particular term. Now let's continue to dive deeper into Shreya. We saw that Shreya and Preya are two terms mentioned in the Katha Upanishad. And we saw what is the meaning of Shreya and what is the meaning of Preya. One of the commentators, Shri Kanupriya Goswami, said Shreya is that which does not degrade the soul and that which causes upliftment of the soul on the path of spirituality. Dear devotees, if we see the dictionary meanings of Shreya, Shreya has various meanings. In the Medini Kosh, it is specified. Shreyo muktau shubhe dharme te prashaste cha vachyavat. Shreya is used in many senses. First is muktau, mukti. Liberation also means Shreya, dear devotees. Then the Medini Kosh says Shubhe, Shubha, auspiciousness is also known as Shreya. And it says Dharme, it says any uplifting duty is also known as Shreya. And then it says Ati Prashastecha, anything which is very excellent is also known as Shreya, dear devotees. So Vachyavat. And Vachyavat means that the gender of Shreya is according to the meaning that it takes. Mukti is feminine. So when Shreya is used with Mukti, it will take feminine gender. So Shubha, is neuter gender. So when Shreya is used in that sense, it will take the neuter gender. So like that. Dharma is masculine gender. So when Shreya takes the meaning Dharma, Shreya will also take the masculine gender. So Vachyavat, the gender of Shreya is according to the meaning that it takes. This is Medini Kosh, an authentic dictionary giving the meanings of Shreya. Dear devotees, śreyaḥ-kairava-candrikā-vitaraṇam. Sri Krishna Sankirtan is the moonlight diffusion that blooms the night water lily of Shreya, which means Sri Krishna Sankirtan blossoms the lily of liberation, dear devotees. First meaning of Shreya is Mukti. Sri Krishna Sankirtan blossoms the lily of auspiciousness, and this is the main meaning taken by most of the commentators. Sri Krishna Sankirtanam blossoms the night water lily of dharma, of all religiosity. Because as soon as Sri Krishna Sankirtan supplements any dharma in this world, that dharma becomes complete. And Sri Krishna Sankirtan blossoms everything excellent in this world. Dear devotees, in all meanings of Shreya that we take, we can have Sri Krishna Sankirtan as the moonlight that blossoms all meanings of Shreya. Not only one meaning. One meaning I have highlighted, auspiciousness. That is the main meaning taken by the commentators. But if you take the remaining meanings of Shreya, Sri Krishna Sankirtanam will blossom all these various meanings of the term Shreya. Dear devotees, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to say that we should not remain satisfied with one meaning of a particular term. When he explained the Atmaram verse, Atmaramascha munyo nirgrantha apyurukrame kurvantya haitukim bhaktim itham bhuta guno hari. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave more than 60 meanings on the Atmaram verse. And how did he give more than 60 meanings? He took every term of the verse and took dictionary meanings of every term. And then he said, these are the various meanings that the term can take. So following in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I've taken a very authentic dictionary, Medini Kosh. Amar Kosh and Medini Kosh are two very authentic Sanskrit dictionaries. So the Medini Kosh gives synonyms, and the Amar Kosh also gives synonyms as well as the main meaning of a term. So dear devotees, these are the four main meanings of Shreya, and these four meanings are perfectly applicable in relation to Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Now, dear devotees, when the Srimad Bhagavatam begins, one of the very first queries posed by the sages at Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunak Rishi to Suta Goswami, is directly related to Shreya. This is verse 1.1.9. Tatra tatrāñjasāyushman bhavata yad vinishchitam pumsam ekantatah shreyas tannah samshritum arhasi. Ayushman, O long-lived one, you should kindly tell us immediately what is entirely for the Shreya, auspicious benefit of all men, that has been decided upon by your good self. This is the 9th verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and the sages initially greet him. Initially there is Mangalacharan in the first 3 verses, then it describes Naimisharanya forest, then there was Suta Goswami sitting, Shaunak etc. were the audience, and then one of the very first requests, please tell us Shreyas. And Ekantatah Shreyas, that tell us that entire Shreyas, the highest Shreyas of all men that has been decided upon by your good self. Why? Because you've studied the Puranas, you've studied the Srimad Bhagavatam nicely under a guru, and they have told you the secrets of Srimad Bhagavatam. You please tell us what is Shreyas for humans. And dear devotees, in the Srimad Bhagavatam itself, Shri Krishna will say that various humans, according to their conditioning, give various Shreya. And these various Shreya they proclaim to be the highest. Shri Krishna says to Uddhava, Manmaya mohitadiya purusha purusharashabha Shreyo vadantyanaekantam yatha karma yatha ruchi. Shri Krishna says to Uddhav, Purusha Rishabha, oh, best amongst men, Man Maya Mohita Dhiya. The intelligence of human beings is influenced by Man Maya, my illusory potency. And thus, according to their own activities and whims, Yatha Karma Yatha Ruchi, they speak in innumerable ways, Anekantam, about what is actually Shreya, auspicious. If you go to different people and you ask them what is Shreya, according to their intelligence, they will tell us this is the highest auspiciousness for humans. And what to speak of anybody else, Krishna himself sometimes in the Bhagavatam gives karma as Shreya. Although Krishna is not speaking very seriously here, but during the pastime of Govardhan Lila, Shri Krishna first wants to stop the worship of Indra. And in order to stop the worship of Indra, Krishna starts propagating karma as the greatest Shreya in front of Maharaj Nanda. And this is the verse which Shri Krishna says, Karmana jayate jantuhu karmanaiva praliyate sukham dukkham bhayam kshemam karmanaiva vipadyate. Karmana jayate jantuhu. Jantu, a living entity, takes birth, jayate, by the force of karma. Karmanaiva praliyate. And it is by karma alone that he meets his destruction. Sukham dukkham, the happiness and distress. Bhayam kshemam, fear and sense of security. Karmanaiva vipadyate, all arise as effects of karma. So, dear Nanda Maharaj, karma is the most important principle. And what does Indra do for us? Nothing. We worship him every year. But this Govardhan, we should worship this Govardhan because this Govardhan performs a lot of activities for us. In this way, dear devotees, Bhagavan Shri Krishna propagated the path known as Karma Mimamsa. Who has seen Ishwar? We don't know if Ishwar exists or not. Karma is the supreme factor. Sri Jiva Goswami and other acharyas say here Krishna is not speaking the highest philosophy. He is merely doing so in order to irritate Indra. That is the reason why Sri Krishna is speaking such a philosophy. So, now this is very nice, but in the Bhagavad Gita also Sri Krishna speaks of karma as Shreya. In the Bhagavad Gita, he says to Arjun, Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu vaha parasparam bhavayantah Shreyah param avapsyatha. Devan bhavayata anena, through this yagya, through this karma kanda, the devas will be pleased. And te deva bhavayantu, the devatas will please you in return. Parasparam bhavayantah, thus by mutual cooperation and pleasing each other, Shreya param avapsita, you will attain to supreme Shreya, auspiciousness. Here, Bhagavan is using Shreya in the sense of karma, in the sense of Vedic karma. And this Shreya is one level of Shreya that is specified in Shastra by Bhagavan himself. So it is very important to understand that Bhagavan himself said in the Srimad Bhagavatam, different people give different levels of Shreya. And Bhagavan himself also gives different levels of Shreya. But when ordinary people give different levels of Shreya, they are deluded by Bhagavan's Maya. But when Bhagavan gives different levels of Shreya, Bhagavan is not deluded by his Maya. Bhagavan is merely catering to different levels of audience. That is the reason why Bhagavan is giving different levels of Shreya. Dear devotees, although Bhagavan may propagate this karma mark, this path of karma, and also call it Shreya, we Vaishnavas listen more to our Gurujanas. Therefore, more important than what Bhagavan says is what our Gurus say, dear devotees. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his Madhurya Kadambini specifies that the path of karma is very difficult, especially in today's age. In Madhurya Kadambini, Prathama Vrishti, in the first shower, first chapter, he says, Karma Yogasya Tatha Bhutatve Maha Anarthakaritvam. That Karma Yoga has stringent rules related to time, place, etc. Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, can you start a fire sacrifice anytime you want in the middle of the night?
No, it has to be just the right time according to Jyotish, I believe.
Yeah. So it has to be at the proper time. We have to take snan, we have to take a bath, we have to be at a proper place. And he says, Tatha abhutatve, when these stringent rules are broken, maha anartha eva, great calamity can befall. And then he quotes a verse from Panini's Sampradaya. Acharya Panini is the Acharya for Sanskrit grammar in this age of Kali Yuga. So Acharya Panini's Sampradaya of grammar, there is a verse which specifies what is the difficulty in karma kand and yagyas, in fire sacrifices. So this verse is from Paniniya Shiksha. It is quoted by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his Madhurya Kadambini. He says, Mantro hina swarato varnato va mithya prayukto na tamarthamah savag vajro yajamanam hinasti yadendra shatru swarato paradhat. Acharya Panini says, and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes, Mantro hina, any Vedic mantra which is devoid of swarato, proper swara, proper accentuation. In the Vedas, the mantras have swaras, accents, or you call it pitch. Udatta, high accent. Anudatta, lower accent. Swarita, which is a mixture of udatta and anudatta. So any Vedic mantra devoid of proper accent, or varnatova, sometimes you mispronounce a syllable or leave out a syllable, even if you leave out half a syllable. Mithya prayukto, it is uttered in vain, the entire mantra becomes useless. Na tamarthamaha, it doesn't give the desired result. Savag vajro, in fact, this mantra can become like a vajra. Yajamanam hinasti, that can harm the performer of the Vedic sacrifice. Yatha indra shatruhu, just for example, in the fire sacrifice of Tvashta mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Tvashta incorrectly pronounced the term Indra Shatru. Swarato Uparadha, there was a mistake in the swara, in the accent of the term Indra Shatru. Now, what was the mistake, dear devotees? We'll get into detail into this mistake. We'll not just be satisfied with this simple explanation. The mistake is explained by our previous Acharya, Srila Sridhar Swami, Srila Jiva Goswami. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 6.9.11, the mantra is spoken by Tvashta. Indra Shatro Vivardhasva Machiram Jahi Vidvisham. O Indra Shatro. Now, Indra Shatro can have two meanings. Indrasya Shatro, Indra's killer, or Indra Shatru Yasya. Indra is whose killer. Now, if the meaning is taken as Indra's killer, then Vritrasur will kill Indra. But if the meaning is taken as Indra is whose killer, then Indra will end up killing Vritrasur. There are both meanings are there to Indra Shatru. Now, Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, what was the intention of Tvashta in uttering the word Indra Shatru?
Indra's killer.
Indra's killer. But instead of this meaning Indra's killer, due to incorrect swara, due to incorrect pitch, the meaning became Indra is whose killer. Flourish now. So Indra flourished and killed his enemy, Vritrasur. Dear devotees, Sri Jiva Goswami explains that the first meaning which was intended by Tvashta, Indrasya Shatru, Indra's killer, is called, according to grammar, Tat Purush Samas. Tatpurush Samas, the final swara, the final vowel has to be Udat, high accent. So, Indra Shatro, this should have been the pronunciation. Then the meaning would have been Indra's killer. But Sri Jiva Goswami explains, instead of having the final syllable as Udatta, high pitch, Twashta incorrectly pronounced the initial syllable with high pitch. Indra Shatro, dear devotees, in this way, the meaning changed and then it became Bahuvrihi Samas. Bahuvrihi Samas says Indra is whose killer. So, just by a mistake in utterance of one of the swaras, the meaning changed. And so, instead of Vritrasur killing Indra, Indra ended up killing Vritrasur, because instead of the meaning being Tatpurush Samas, the meaning was Bahuvrihi Samas due to simply an error in the pronunciation of one of the vowels. The vowel had to be pronounced, the final vowel had to be pronounced with a high pitch. Instead of that, he pronounced the initial vowel with a high pitch. This was the mistake. That's it. So Acharya Panini says, Yathendra Shatruhu Swarato Paradhat. So just as the fire sacrifice of Twashta resulted in an opposite effect due to mispronunciation of the term Indra Shatru. So this is Paniniya Shiksha. Acharya Panini is teaching us that Vedic mantras, the path of karma is not very easy. Dear devotees, we have studied the entire Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavatam, there are no markings for swara. Which verse, which section of the verse is to be pronounced with a high pitch, which section is to be pronounced with a lower pitch. The Bhagavatam is Purana, it is to be pronounced in Ekashruti. Ekashruti means without any swaras. But the four Vedas, they have markings of swaras. And then, if we mispronounce them, then we will get the opposite result. And we cannot understand swaras unless we approach a proper guru. In the southern part of India, even today, there are Brahmanas. Even in northern India, there are Brahmanas who teach young children how to properly utter the swaras. So, but this is very difficult path, dear devotees. One mistake can lead to a major error. So this is the path of yajna, the path of karma kanda. It is difficult. And for this path, dear devotees, one also needs a particular birth. One needs to be born in a particular family in order to have the samskaras for learning all these swaras at a young age. In the previous presentation, we specified that bhakti destroys prarabdha karma and can change one's jati. And a person can become a brahmana as soon as they take Vaishnav Diksha. But still a small difference remains, that person who is born as a brahmana is trained from childhood. And the person who is not born as a brahmana may not be trained from childhood. Therefore, even though at the time of Diksha one's jati changes, that training is still lacking. And a Vaishnava may not opt for such a training, because their main aim of life is not to learn Vedic swaras. Their main aim of life is to render service unto Bhagavan. So therefore, even though a Vaishnava may be a Brahmana, still they don't engage on the difficult path of karma. So this is what our Acharya, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has told us. Bhagavan may say, Shreyaḥ Paramavapsyatha. Devan Bhavayatanena. You please the Devatas by offering yajna. Devatas will please you with proper weather. But how difficult is the path? It's very difficult, dear devotees. So Bhagavan may call it Shreyaḥ, but our Acharyas tell us that in fact it is not the Shreyaḥ, the highest Shreyaḥ for this particular age. Maybe in Treta Yuga, this might have been Shreyaḥ, but not in the age of Kali, dear devotees. Now beyond this, Bhagavan puts on multiple hats in the Gita and then later starts portraying Jnana as Shreyaḥ. Now, dear devotees, in the Gita, Bhagavan himself says, Shreyan dravyamayad yajyat jnana yajyah parantapa sarvam karma khilam partha jnane parisamapyate. Shreyan, now again Shreya he uses, 4th chapter 33 verse. Shreyan, Dravya Mayad Yagyat. Parantapa, or chastiser of enemy, O Arjun, Jnana Yagya, cultivation of Jnana Yoga, has greater Shreya, auspiciousness or benefit, than Dravya Mayad Yagya, than a Vedic Karma Yagya consisting of various offerings to the gods. And Sarvam Karma Akhilam Partha Jnane Parisamapyate. All Vedic Karma finally culminates in the attainment of Jnana. All Vedic Karma finally culminates in attainment of Jnana. Dear devotees, this is the Praman which Bhagavan gives in the Gita. And in this Praman, Bhagavan is specifying that ultimately after you perform all the karma, then finally you have to go to the path of Gyan, because karma by itself is not a platform of perfection. In the commentary to this particular verse, Srila Sridhar Swami explains what is the meaning of all Vedic karma finally culminates in the attainment of Gyan. He says one who culminates Gyan, he obtains everything that a person who is executing karma kanda obtains. He quotes Chandogya Upanishad, Sarvam tad abhisameti yat kinchit praja sadhu kurvanti. The Jnana Yogi gets everything that people get by executing karma yoga. Chandogya Upanishad, Srila Sridhar Swami quotes. So everything a Jnana Yogi gets. So Shreyan, and a Jnana Yogi gets something more. He gets the impersonal Brahman. Dear devotees, impersonal Brahman, attainment of the impersonal Brahman is there for the Jnana Yogi. So definitely greater Shreyas than Karma Yoga. Now dear devotees, when we perform Karma Yoga, although it's so difficult, but at the end of all the yajnas, even today, when we go to temples and yajna is performed, at the end of all the yajnas, it is said, Mantratas, Tantratas, Chidram, Deshakalar Havastutat, Sarvam Karoti Nischidram Anu Sankirtanam Tava. That if there is any mistake in the mantras, any mistake in the rituals, any mistake in time, place, circumstance, everything becomes perfect by Nama Sankirtanam, by your repeated Sankirtan. So Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, if karma is Shreya, if karma is the highest, what is Shreya for karma itself? Please tell me.
Jnana is the Shreya for karma.
No. What gives perfection to karma? I just specified.
Bhakti.
So Sankirtan is the Shreya, is auspiciousness for karma itself. If karma is propagated as Shreya for humans, then for karma itself, Sankirtan becomes the Shreya, Sankirtan becomes auspiciousness. The devotees, then here is Gyan in front of us. What is Gyan? Meditating on the impersonal Brahman. Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi. All these Mahavakyas of Vedanta, of Upanishads, meditating upon these, considering oneself to be non-different from the impersonal Brahman. In fact, trying to remove the Aham Tattva in Aham Brahma Asmi, because that Aham also creates a distinction. In the statement Aham Brahmasmi, that Aham also creates a level of distinction. Why Aham? So, instead, some impersonalists say, instead of saying Aham Brahmasmi, say Brahmaiva Aham, Brahma I am. There also you have to put Aham. So, trying to remove all non-difference between oneself and the impersonal Brahman. This is Jnana Yoga. It is spoken by Shri Krishna as Shreya. It is much greater than the path of karma. Dear devotees, in the Gita itself, Bhagavan will also say that yoga is Shreya. Yoga is much better. In the Gita he says, Tapasvibhyo dhiko yogi jnanibhyopi matodhikaha. In the 6th chapter, a dhyana yogi, person who is performing Ashtanga yoga, is greater than tapasvis, ascetics, and jnanibhyopi, and even greater than all the jnanis. So dear devotees, Bhagavan has given many levels of Shreya in Shastra. Dear devotees, Bhagavan himself acknowledges that various people, including himself, will give varieties of Shreya. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, he tells Uddhava, 11th canto, Dharmameke yashaschanye kamam satyam damam shamam अन्ये वदन्ति स्वार्थं वा ऐश्वर्यं त्यागभोजनं केचिद् यज्ञं तपोदानं व्रतानि नियमान्यमान्. AK, one set of people. Who are they? The Acharyas explain. So whatever I have put in brackets is by the Acharyas. Some, the followers of Jaimini's Purva Mimamsa, Karma Kand, proclaim Vedic karma to be Shreya. Dharma Meke. Yashascha Anye, others, those who are connoisseurs of literature, Sahitya, they proclaim fame. The best thing is to become famous as a literary person, as a connoisseur of literature. That is the best thing to attain in this life. And then the Acharyas of Kama Shastra, they proclaim Kama as the highest Shreya. If you did not enjoy Kama in this world, what did you enjoy? Kama is one of the 4 Purusharthas and the main one, they say, for a human being. If on a wintry night you did not enjoy sleeping on a cozy bed, enveloped in a warm blanket with your lover, fie upon your life. This is Kamam. The Acharyas of Kama Shastras proclaim Kama as Shreya. And Damam Shamam, the Ashtanga yogis proclaim sense control and tranquility to be Shreya. And Anye Vadanti Swartham Va Aishwaryam, those who are expert in making laws for the society, they proclaim prosperity. If you have money, that is the highest. The renunciates, they proclaim Tyag as Shreya. The Lokayatas, materialists, who say there is no next life, they proclaim Bhojanam, worldly enjoyment as Shreya. And those who are attached to Karma Kanda, they say Yajna, Tapasya, Dana, charity, Vrata, Niyama, vows, regulations, etc. This is Shreya. Bhagavan himself says. All these are proclaimed as Shreya by so many people in the world, dear devotees. Which one will we follow? Of course, we should follow Bhagavan's own conclusion on Shreya. Therefore, Bhagavan says all varieties of Shreya ultimately need the support of Bhakti. To Uddhav, he says, Dharma Satya Dayopeto Vidya Va Tapasanvita Mad Bhaktyapetam Atmanam Na Samyak Prapunatihi. Dharma, any religious activity which was proclaimed previously. Satya, Daya, endowed with honesty, mercy, or Vidya va Tapasanvita, or any knowledge obtained with great penance. They cannot purify one's consciousness if Mad Bhaktya Apetam, if they are bereft of my bhakti. So, dear devotees, Bhagavan himself says all these Shreya, they remain incomplete without his bhakti, because they don't lead to the transcendental world unless Bhagavan's bhakti becomes aligned with them. Sri Jiva Goswami in the Bhakti Sandarbha also specifies what to speak of these people who are in Karma Kanda. Even the Jnanis, they may have become Jivan Muktas. But even after becoming Jivan Muktas, a particular Jnani, if he disregards Bhakti, that Jnani can fall down. And dear devotee Sri Jiva Goswami says that the non-devotee Jivan Mukta, whether is Jnani or Ashtanga Yogi, falls down from their so-called status of Jivan Mukta. Sri Jiva Goswami quotes, Jivan Mukta api punar bandhanam yanti karma bhi yadyachintya mahashaktau bhagavatya paradhinah. Jivan Mukta, those who are Jivan Mukta, those who are liberated even in this life, they have not yet attained final liberation. They are considering themselves to be liberated. Api punar bandhanam, they get bound up again. Karma bhi, by fruitive karma. If Achintya Mahashakta Bhagavati Aparadina, if they become aparadhis, offenders unto the Supreme Lord who has Achintya Mahashakti, who has inconceivable great potencies. This is from a previous commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam called Vasana Bhashyam. This commentary is now lost, but Sri Jiva Goswami preserved a few verses from that commentary and he quoted it in Bhakti Sandarbha. So there are many verses in the Bhagavatam that the impersonalist falls, the impersonalist falls. Sri Jiva Goswami explains what is the meaning of the impersonalist falls. The Jivan Mukta who disregards Bhakti falls. But if the impersonalist has respect for Bhakti, then that impersonalist attains liberation and never has to come back again. Because why should he come back again? He has respect for Bhakti. So there is no reason for, he has respect for Bhagavan. There is no reason for such an impersonalist to come back again. But if a Jivan Mukta, as long as he has not yet attained final perfection, if such a Jivan Mukta disregards Bhakti, then Punarbandhanam, again get tied up, karma bihi, by fruitive karma. Then again you get entangled in the world. Oh, after becoming Jivan Mukta, then they start thinking, oh, much better is to serve the world. Much better is to do projects of public benefit. This is Maya binding them in Sattva Guna. This is bondage in Sattva Guna, their devotees. The impersonalists, instead of remaining on the Nirguna platform, on the platform of no material modes, they become bound by Sattva Guna. And then they say, oh, I will build this charitable trust, I will build that charitable trust, and I will do this project and do that project. And let's collect donations for the same. And then there begins Nama, Rupa, name and form for the impersonalist. It goes against his purpose of removing all name and form. And then he becomes attached to karma again. So this is what is explained by Sri Jiva Goswami here. In fact, all other Shreyas that are proclaimed, karma, jnana, ashtanga yoga, tapasya, kama, everything should ultimately lead to bhakti. Dear devotees, this clear message is given by Sri Uddhav to the gopis of Vrindavan. Gopis of Vrindavan say you are so learned, you are expert in karma, jnana, etc. Sri Uddhav says, Dana vrata tapo homa japasvadhyaya samyamai shreyo vividhaishchanyai krishne bhaktir hi sadhyate. You can see shreyo bhir. He is using the term shreya. Through varieties of shreya. What are the varieties of shreya? Dan, charity, vrata, vows, tapa, austerity, homa, fire sacrifices, japa, swadhyaya, self-study, and samyamai, self-control. Krishna bhaktir hi sadhyate. Ultimately, what is to be attained is Krishna bhakti. And oh gopis, you already have that. You already have. You are saying that I am expert in dana, vrata, tapa, homa, japa, swadhyaya, samyam. But ultimately, what should be attained by all these? What is the highest shreya to be attained? Krishna bhakti hi sadhyate. And oh gopis, you're already crying for Shri Krishna. You're already crying for Krishna. Therefore, Sri Uddhav says here that all other shreyas are ultimately leading up to bhakti as the ultimate shreya. Dear devotees, therefore, Bhagavan himself says, Tasman mad bhakti yuktasya yogino vai madatmana na jnanam na cha vairagyam praya shreya. He repeats shreya twice in this set of verses. For a devotee who already has bhakti, who already has his mind fixed on me, the cultivation of impersonal jnana and dry renunciation vairagya is generally not the means of achieving the highest shreya. Because you have bhakti already. You already have bhakti. Then why do you want to go to lower forms of shreya such as jnana and vairagya? In fact, he says, yat karma bir yat tapasa. Whatever can be achieved by other shreya such as karma, tapasya, knowledge, detachment, mystic yoga, charity, religious duties, everything is attained through loving service unto me. Through all other shreyas, whatever is attained, you can attain through bhakti. Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, what can you attain by karma kand? The greatest thing that you can attain by karma kand.
The heavenly planets and material enjoyment.
Can you not attain that by bhakti?
Yes, you can.
Of course you can attain. Maharaj Chitraketu, he was just executing bhakti. He saw Bhagavan Sudarshan in front of him, gave a benediction. Next life, Maharaj Chitraketu, heavenly planets with two arms around two heavenly girls. He is singing the glories of Hari. He attained what was to be attained by performance of karma kand. Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, what is to be attained by jnana? What is the highest destination to be attained by jnana?
Liberation from all material suffering and entering into the Brahma Jyoti.
Can you not attain that by bhakti?
You can.
Yeah, but usually people don't want to do that. But if somebody wants to do that, there are many people who want to enter into the impersonal Brahman through the practice of bhakti. One such example in Chaitanya Charitamrita is Ramdas Vishwas. He was a worshipper of Bhagwan Ram, but ultimately he wanted to merge with the impersonal Brahman through his bhakti of Bhagwan Ram. Whatever else you wish to attain, Mad Bhakto Labhate Anjasa, Bhagwan says, Sarvam Mad Bhakti Yogena, everything through my Bhakti Yoga you can attain. All those Shreyas you can attain, and you can attain more if you want. You can attain more if you want. Dear devotees, therefore Sri Jiva Goswami says, look at Bhakti. Bhakti is the highest Shreya in all the Shastras. In all the Shastras around the world, if you look at the highest Shreya, it is Bhakti. Sri Jiva Goswami quotes Linga Puran, आलोड्य सर्वशास्त्राणि विचार्य च पुनः पुनः इदमेकं सुनिष्पन्नं ध्येयो नारायणः सदा. Alodya Sarva Shastrani. We flipped through the pages of all the scriptures in the world. Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, let's flip through the pages of Christianity. Do you find Karma Yoga in Christianity as that you do something good in this life, in the next life you will enjoy, or you do something bad 5 lifetimes ago, in this life you will suffer? Do you find something like that in Christianity?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh, no, no. Christianity doesn't have the concept of multiple lives. It has the
Except for
concept
the
of,
multiple life part, but they have heaven and hell.
yeah, they have heaven and hell. But does Christianity have the concept of offering fire sacrifice and going to heaven?
No, Prabhuji.
No, you won't find karma yoga, karma kanda in Christianity. Okay, will you find jnana in Christianity, that meditate on the impersonal and merge into it?
No.
Do you find Ashtanga yoga, practice bodily postures and attain impersonal liberation?
Definitely not.
Not. Do you find elements of bhakti in Christianity?
Yes.
100%. So you flip through the pages of all the Shastras in all the religion, you found one common factor in all the religions, one uplifting factor in all the religions, one Shreya in all the religions. So the highest Shreya in all the Shastras around the world is proclaimed to be Bhakti. And that Bhakti is meditation upon Shri Bhagwan. Thinking, Smaranam of Shri Bhagwan is proclaimed to be the common Shreya, the highest Shreya in all the Shastras. And that meditation happens through Sankirtanam. It is nourished through Sankirtanam. Now, Sri Jiva Goswami says, Bhakti is also the highest Shreya in all species of life. So, dear devotees, humans can perform Karma Yoga. Humans can perform Jnana Yoga. But humans, of course, besides humans, if we see birds, animals, insects, they cannot perform Karma Yoga, they cannot perform Jnana Yoga. But insects, animals, and birds can perform one form of yoga. The Shreya for insects, animals, birds comes in the form of Bhakti Yoga. Sri Jiva Goswami quotes, Kita Pakshim Mriganam cha harau sanyasta chetasam urdhvameva gatim manye kim punar jnaninam dranam. Manye, I firmly believe, this is Garud Puran. He said that Kita Pakshi Mriganam cha, those insects, birds, and animals who are Harau Sanyasta Chetasam, who have invested their consciousness in Hari, Urdhvameva Gatim Manye, they are destined for an elevated position. Kim Punar Jnaninam Dranam. What then to speak of knowledgeable humans? They will certainly become elevated on practicing Bhakti Yoga. Is Karma Yoga meant for insects, birds, and animals? Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu, is it meant for insects, birds, or animals?
It's meant for everybody.
Karma Yoga.
I'm sorry. Bhakti yoga is meant for everybody, but definitely not karma yoga.
Okay, not karma yoga, not jnana yoga, not ashtanga yoga. Insects cannot perform ashtanga yoga. Although there are some poses you can take inspiration from an insect, such as a mantis. But other than that, they cannot perform ashtanga yoga formulae, dear devotees. So they cannot perform jnana yoga. Insects do not know what is the impersonal Brahman. Birds do not know what is the impersonal Brahman. But can insects, birds, and animals perform bhakti yoga? Yes. How? Somehow accidentally they end up eating prasad. If they end up hearing Sri Krishna Sankirtanam, sometimes some birds repeat, some parrots repeat the name of Krishna and Ram. A parrot can perform Sankirtan, although it is parrot-like, but a parrot can also perform Sankirtanam. The devotees, in this way, insects, birds, animals can participate in Bhakti Yoga. They cannot participate in other forms of yoga. So the highest Shreya in all species of life is Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, is Bhakti Yoga. Dear devotees, headed by Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Then, even for the most sinful person, the highest Shreya comes not through Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga. The highest Shreya comes through Bhakti Yoga. Sri Jiva Goswami quotes the Bhagavad Gita. Api chetsu duracharo bhajate. The term bhajate is important. Bhajate indicates not Karma Yoga. Bhajate does not indicate Jnana Yoga. Bhajate does not indicate Ashtanga Yoga. Bhajate mam ananya bhak. If he performs Bhakti Yoga one-pointedly, sadhureva samantavya. Such a sinful person is to be known as a sadhu who is situated perfectly in his determination. Samyak vyavasito. Dear devotees, even for the most sinful, the highest Shreya comes through Bhakti Yoga. Locked in a prisoner is sentenced to death and about to be executed tomorrow. Dear devotees, it will be very difficult for him to perform Karma Yoga there or Ashtanga Yoga there, as he is brought into the execution chamber. Dear devotees, at that particular moment, the Shreya for him comes through Bhakti Yoga. Even in liberation, dear devotees, Bhakti Yoga is the highest. Sri Jiva Goswami quotes the Srimad Bhagavatam, Matsevaya pratitam te salokyadi chatushayam nechanti sevaya purnaha kutonyat kala viplutam. Matsevaya pratitam te. My devotees who are always satisfied to be engaged in my loving service are not interested even in the four principles of liberation. Salokya, Saropya, Samipya, Sarshti. Although these are automatically achieved by this service. What then is to be said of such perishable happiness as elevation to the higher planetary systems? Devotees are interested even in liberation, even after they attain these four liberations, they are interested in bhakti. For them, bhakti remains the highest Shreya, even after liberation. Dear devotees, this is the condition of those who attain personal liberation. What about those who attain impersonal liberation? Even those who attain Sayujya, they also wish to perform bhakti. Dear devotees, even those who have attained Sayujya. Shri Adi Shankaracharya quotes, and it is quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mukta api lilaya vigraham kritva bhagavantam bhajante. This is Shri Adi Shankaracharya's commentary on Nrsimha-Tapani Upanishad. It is quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 24.112 by Shri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. Mukta api, even a liberated soul merged in the impersonal Brahman effulgence, Lilaya vigraham kritva bhagavantam bhajanti, is attracted to pastimes of Bhagwan. Thus that soul takes up a form and renders service unto the Lord. For some time, that particular soul also wishes to render some service from time to time. So mukta api lilaya vigraham kritva bhagavantam bhajante. This is Sri Adi Shankaracharya's own statement in his commentary to Sri Nrsimha-Tapani Upanishad. Even the impersonalist, after impersonal liberation, they consider Shreya to be bhakti. Dear devotees, this is the meaning of Shreya, the highest Shreya. Dear devotees, in all activities, bhakti is the Shreya. Krishna says in the Gita, Yat karoshi yad ashnashi, yat juhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, offer or give away, do it as an offering to me. involve bhakti yoga within it. And how do you offer to it? How do you offer it to Bhagavan? So, idam Keshavaya, idam namama. This is for Keshav, this is not for me. You perform Sankirtan in front of Bhagavan. You know, idam Govindaya, idam namama. This is for Govinda, this is not for me. Without Sankirtan, you cannot offer your devotees. In this way, Sankirtan lends perfection to all activities that a human being performs. In fact, bhakti headed by Sankirtan is the highest Shreya in all yugas. Krite yadhyayato Vishnum, Tretayam yajato makhai, Dvapare paricharyayam kalau tad hari kirtana. Whatever result was obtained in Satya Yuga by meditating on Vishnu, this is also bhakti. In Treta Yuga by performing yagyas for Vishnu, this is also bhakti. In Dwapar Yuga by worshipping his deity, this is also bhakti, can be obtained in Kali Yuga simply by kirtan of Vishnu. Dear devotees, meditating on Vishnu first requires one to hear about Vishnu. In Satya Yuga, by performing Sankirtan, one would gradually learn to meditate on Vishnu. In Treta, you perform Yagya, you utter so many Vedic mantras which have names of Vishnu. That also requires Sankirtan. In Dwapar, you perform Archana, deity worship, and that also requires us to learn about Shri Vishnu through Sankirtan. And in Kali Yuga, Sankirtan is the direct methodology of attaining all perfection. And dear devotees, in all stages of life, bhakti, headed by Shri Krishna Sankirtan, is giving perfection. Sri Jiva Goswami says, Garbhe, even within the womb, when one cannot perform karma, jnana or ashtanga yoga, one can perform bhakti yoga. Example, Prahlad Maharaj, who heard Shri Krishna Sankirtan from Narad Muni in the womb. Shri Krishna Sankirtan gives perfection within the womb, which other forms of yoga cannot give. Palye, Shri Dhruvadishu, Dhruva etc. in childhood. Dhruva performed Shri Krishna Sankirtan in childhood, when other forms of yoga may not be so easy to perform at that particular age. Dear devotees, Yauvane, in youth, Ambarish Maharaj, as an adult, he performed bhakti headed by Shri Krishna Sankirtan. Dear devotees, Vardhakya, even in old age, when it is impossible to perform Ashtanga yoga, etc., Dhritarashtra ended up performing bhakti yoga headed by Shri Krishna Sankirtan. Marane, before death, somebody attained perfection through Shri Krishna Sankirtan. Who was that, dear devotees? Ajamil. He attained perfection by performing kirtan of Narayan Nam. Dear devotees, what was not possible at that time for karma, jnana and ashtanga yoga was made possible by Shri Krishna Sankirtan. Dear devotees, Swargitayam, after death, Shri Chitraketu had Shri Krishna, was doing Shri Krishna Sankirtan in heaven, in Swarga after death. And Narakitayam, even if somebody ends up going to hell, they can perform Shri Krishna Sankirtan. Sri Jiva Goswami says, Yatha Yatha Harer Nama Kirtayanti Smanarakaha Tatha Tatha Haro Bhakti Mudvahanto Divam Yayav. There is a pastime in which the residents of hell, in the presence of Janak Maharaj, started performing Sankirtan. And by the influence of the Sankirtan of Janak Maharaj, they all started rising to Swarga. And they got rid of their impious activities. In all stages of life, Shri Krishna Sankirtan is the highest Shreya. Bhakti is the highest Shreya. Dear devotees, therefore, Bhakti headed by Shri Krishna Sankirtan is the highest Shreya. And, dear devotees, Candrikā-vitaraṇam. Shri Krishna Sankirtan is the Chandrika, is the moonlight that blooms all forms of Shreya, including Bhakti, including Shri Krishna Prema. Dear devotees. Bhajanira madhye shrestha navavidha bhakti Krishna Prema Krishna dite dhare mahashakti. Amongst the ways of executing devotional service, 9 prescribed methods are the best. They are mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam by Prahlad Maharaj. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyamatma Nivedanam. Krishna Prema Krishna Dite. These processes have great potency to deliver Krishna himself as well as Krishna Prema, love for Krishna. Dhare Mahashakti. Tar Madhye Sarvashreshth Nam Sankirtan. Of the 9 processes, the most important is Nam Sankirtan. Nirapradhe Nam Laile Paye Premadan. If one utters Nam by avoiding the 10 kinds of offenses, also Vaishnava Aprad, also Seva Aprad, one very easily obtains Premadhan, the most valuable love of Shri Krishna. Dear devotees, in this way, Shri Krishna Sankirtanam is the Chandrika, the moonlight that blooms the highest Shreya, the highest night water lily of Shri Krishna Prem. There are many other Shreya, there are many other lilies, small lilies in the pond, such as Karma, Jnana, Ashtanga. All these are lilies in the pond, and it is night time going on. The material world is a dark place. The devotee Sri Krishna Sankirtanam is that moonlight which blooms all these small lilies, but it will also bloom the most important lily of Shri Krishna Prem. This, dear devotees, is why Shri Krishna Sankirtanam is śreyaḥ-kairava-candrikā-vitaraṇam. At this point of time, dear devotees, I'd like to pause my speech and pause my remarks on śreyaḥ-kairava-candrikā-vitaraṇam. Thank you very much. Yadatra skhalitam kinchit vidvamsah purayantu tat. Yadatra saushthavam kinchit tat guroreva me nahi. Yadatra skhalitam kinchit. Whatever was mistaken in the presentation, vidvamsah, it belongs to me, but dear devotees, you please correct it. But yadatra saushthavam kinchit. Whatever was nice, please remember tat guroreva. I learned from my gurujanas. It belongs to them. Me nahi. It doesn't belong to me. Dear devotees, thank you so much once again. My gurujanas, my Diksha Guru, my Shiksha Gurus, all the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, all the God brothers of Srila Prabhupada, all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas in the family of Śrī-Caitanya Mahāprabhu who appeared in the past, who will appear in the future, and who are currently present, including all of you, are my Gurujanas. It belongs to you, it doesn't belong to me. Please pray for me and give me the blessings so that I will become broad-minded enough to see all Vaishnavas as my Gurus, that I will not have feelings of sectarianism in my execution of Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, and that the previous acharyas give their combined blessings in this effort to glorify Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Jiva Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrindi ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you so much, dear Hari Parshad Prabhu. What a wonderful class. It's amazing how we can just take this one word, Shreya, and just pull out so many different statements with different spiritual paths from our scriptures. And a lot of people think Hinduism is just this confusing conglomerate of different things that are all simultaneously supreme, and there's no kind of systematic way to harmonize it all. But really, you've shown that there's a very logical, coherent, and consistent hierarchy. And at the top, we have bhakti, but bhakti can give you all the benefits of all the other paths. It's the most accessible. Anyone can do it. It makes you wonder, why wouldn't everyone do bhakti yoga as the highest shreya for everyone? So thank you so much, Prabhu. Love your classes. We're going to go now to Q&A, question and answer. And as always, we just have a few requests in terms of how you ask questions. First of all, if you'd like to join our WhatsApp group for announcements about when the live classes start, or also for opportunity to ask questions in between classes, you can just send a message to this email address. Make sure to include your phone number or your WhatsApp number so we know how to add you. In the meantime, for this Q&A session, please only ask questions related to today's class. We all have a lot of questions we'd love to ask Hari Parshad Prabhu because he's such a great scholar and devotee. But let's just focus on today's class. Avoid any any questions that are loaded questions about particular people or institutions. We like to keep it philosophical here. We're going to give everyone a chance to ask one question at a time. If you have more questions, please just go into the line again. We might allow a short follow-up, short follow-up, not a whole nother question. And very precise questions that are going to take research. We'll ask you to save for the WhatsApp group. And with that, is there anything else you want to add, Hari Parshad Prabhu?
Yeah, I would like to say one thing, that this particular series of talks is an informal series. What I'm doing here is discussing in an informal manner about Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam from a non-sectarian point of view. Dear devotees, I am taking this particular mood within myself, that we will not glorify or critique any individual or institution. And my expectation is that the audience will be sahriday, like-minded. So dear devotees, this particular platform of Śrī-Caitanya-Śikṣāṣṭakam is slightly different from speaking within an institution on a Vyasasana. This is a more informal platform. So let the queries also be informal. And please remember that we are not here to critique or praise any particular institution or individual. Thank you so much.
So our first question is from Bhaktin Dorothea.
Hare Krishna, my pranams, all glories to Shri Prabhupada and all the devotees. Some of my favorite points were from this fantastic katha was that the Gyan, like Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu already said, like this very systematic ladder, we would say, of stages, why don't we just all practice bhakti? Because like you said, like this detail that the jnana yogi gets everything that a karma yogi tries to get and more, and then the next stage, like I assume also the dhyana yogi gets all that the dhyana yogi gets and more. Like this is continuously more fulfilling. So, and of course, bhakti is the ultimate fulfillment. And so just to come to my question, you said that a soul takes on a form to perform bhakti when it has already attained Sayujya Mukti. And I remembered at that point that Prabhupada often noted that many souls that came from the Brahmayoti returned to open hospitals or perform similar welfare work. So is there also like some variety, like maybe some souls they come directly to perform bhakti, or some souls they fall into the sattva gun, and some souls maybe even lower? Like, is there also some individuality, or do they all fall into sattva gun first?
So those souls who attain final liberation, there are two types of liberation that are mentioned in Shastra, and I will mention these two types of liberation. First is called as Jivan Mukti. So Jivan Mukti is when you are not yet left this body, but consider yourself to be one with Brahman. This is Jivan Mukti. And Videha Mukti is final liberation after leaving this body and merging into Brahman. These are the two types of liberation for the Jnana Yogi. When Acharyas say that the impersonalist becomes bound up by modes of nature, they are speaking about the Jivan Mukta. But once they attain Videha Mukti, once they become liberated and merge into the impersonal Brahman, they don't return to get bound up in the material modes again. But the Chaitanya Charitamrita says they like to take some forms temporarily in order to render some service to Bhagavan. But they would like to stay fixed in their position as being merged into the Brahmajyoti. So whenever Acharyas say that the impersonalist comes to the material world and creates some projects of public welfare, it is to be understood that they are speaking about the Jivan Mukta. In that way, all the acharyas will fall in one straight line and will speak the same message. So that is how those statements are to be understood. So I hope that clarifies.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes. Wonderful.
We have a question from Bhagavat Kata Prabhu. In one of the previous sessions, you mentioned that those souls merged in impersonal Brahman accept all sense objects through the senses of the Lord himself.
Yeah.
So how to understand statement of Srila Adi Shankaracharya that even they get attracted by bhakti?
Of course. See, in the spiritual world, there is a statement given by Sri Jiva Goswami in Priti Sandarbha, which I had quoted previously. Adatte harihastena haridrishteva pashyati gacchati haripadabhyam muktasya isha sthitir bhavet. Adatte harihastena, he accepts and gives through the hands of Hari. And haridrishteva pashyati, sees through the eyes of Hari. Gacchati haripadabhyam, walks through the 2 feet of Hari. Muktasya esha sthitir bhavet. This is the situation of the impersonal, the jiva who attains impersonal liberation. Now, when he sees through the eyes of Hari, when he walks through the feet of Hari, when he gets that indirect experience, then he sees that so many devotees are enjoying much more than Hari is enjoying. That particular point of time, an impersonalist may also have desire to render some service, but not that level. They cannot render that level of service which the devotees who have personal liberation are rendering. Therefore, sometimes Bhagwan may give them an opportunity to take some temporary form and get that indirect impression of rendering service. So all things are possible in the spiritual world, but the one thing which is not possible for them is their rasa cannot change. They will remain in Shanta rasa, and remaining merged in the impersonal Brahman is going to be their sthai bhav. That is their permanent fixed mood towards Bhagwan. So that will not change. Other than that, temporarily, that is what you call sanchari bhav. Some temporary sanchari bhav takes over them, and then they want to render some service temporarily. Bhagwan makes facility for them. The spiritual world is a world where no desire goes unfulfilled. So that all desires are auspicious. There is no inauspicious desire, and no desire goes unfulfilled. So everybody is Atmaram and Purnakam in the spiritual world. One of the meaning of Purnakam is all their desires are auspicious, and these auspicious desires are fulfilled by Bhagwan. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadhati Kama. He fulfills the desires of everybody, even in the spiritual world. So that is the answer to the query.
Thank you. Next we have Bishwadeep Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for the class. It was a wonderful class. Before the question, I also want to share a small realization. What I heard from my Gurujanas, that the Tvashtha was following the karma path, and he was very expert in Rig Veda. But in Rig Veda, when Indra is pronounced, maximum time it is pronounced as Adyudatta. But this habit only caused him to pronounce it wrong, and ultimately this karma kanda only made him go in a wrong way. Means ultimately caused and pronouncing it in a wrong way. So,
Thank you.
So my question is, Prabhu, that we have very wonderfully explained that karma kanda cannot be performed by everyone. It is for few people who are eligible to perform, and bhakti is more universal kind of thing. So in the path of bhakti, karma kanda also needs, for being a hota, to for being one who is doing yajna, you need Upanayan. And those who got Upanayan, they were also given Brahma Gayatri, as you mentioned in your early classes in question answer session. So the devotees who didn't get Brahma Gayatri, like for Kam Gayatri and Gopal Mantra, there are specific mood that we can get through that. So it is important for our bhakti. So what role the Brahma Gayatri plays in getting the ultimate Shreya? So that's my
Brahma Gayatri plays in getting ultimate Shreya.
Yes.
Of course, the Brahma Gayatri can play a very big role in getting the ultimate Shreya. But for that, I have to explain the meaning of Brahma Gayatri, which is a very, it is not to be spoken here. But I can give a small hint, because without going into any of the individual term of Brahma Gayatri, I can get into a small, I give you a small hint which will make it very easy to understand. The Brahma Gayatri is explained by Srila Jiva Goswami in his Gayatri Vyakhya Vivriti as worship of Bhagavan Surya Narayan. That is the worship which happens through the utterance of Brahma Gayatri. So when we chant Brahma Gayatri, the viniyog, the application is in japa. Japa of what? Japa towards the deity. The deity is Bhagavan Surya Narayan. But then this is for somebody who is practicing Vaidhi Bhakti. For a person who is practicing Rag Bhakti, they understand that one of the biggest worshippers of Bhagavan Surya Narayan is Srimati Radharani. She is a worshipper of Surya. And those who understand this fact know what mood to cultivate when they are chanting Brahma Gayatri. And the Brahma Gayatri says that please guide our intelligence. So those who are on the path of Rag also know which mood to ask to guide their intelligence. And those who are on the path of Vidhi also know which mood to ask in order to guide their intelligence. This is the maximum I can explain, beyond which I'll have to explain the individual terms, which is not possible here because it is not meant to be, the mantra is not supposed to be spoken open. So I hope that satisfies it.
Yes, sure.
Amazing realization. Next we have Kamniya Krishna Prabhu and Kamala Mataji.
Hare Krishna Babuji, my donut pranams to you, Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu and all the Vaishnavas. We are really thankful to Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu for his unparalleled dedication in hosting the series from such a long time. It requires a lot of dedication, time, energy, enthusiasm. So we are really thankful to have you, Babu. And we really like your smiling face as always. So thank you so much, Babuji. So, Babuji, coming to the question, this question was there for a long time, but I think today you showed into the presentation, so I believe this is the right moment to ask it. So, we have been listening that in the Satyuga, meditation was the Shreya, auspiciousness, in the Dwapar Yuga, that Yagna and all. And then in the Kali Yuga, Nama Sankirtan is the Dharma, right? So, Prabhuji, I was wondering that in Satyuga, in the previous yugas, were they not aware about this Harinam Sankirtan? Because they could have easily achieved with using by following the Sankirtana in that age, where the age of a human being was such a long. So why Sankirtana is only for Kali Yuga? Okay, I understand that life is short and people are not very much attentive to do all these things. But why those people were not fortunate enough to gain this shorter or direct path, I would say. Was there any hidden or intrinsic reason?
Why were those people not given that this shorter path, and why did they not exit through the shortcut? Why were they given these long cuts? See, in the previous ages, the society was fully intact with the Varnashram system, which was personally created by Shri Krishna. Chatur Varnyam Maya Srishta. Taking birth in a society which has Varnashram fully intact has major benefits. Major benefits. Because you get an entire family structure, entire society structure which supports you in your gradual spiritual advancement. And it supports you in your spiritual advancement in such a way that your material desires are also fulfilled and ultimately you attain the spiritual world. And you have such a long lifespan that you have enough time to fulfill your material desires and then move ahead to fulfill your spiritual goals of life. But with the Varnashram system comes the responsibility of maintaining the Varnashram system. You're not simply just supposed to reap the benefits, you are also supposed to contribute to the Varnashram system. And how do you contribute to the Varnashram system? By becoming part of that particular Varnashram dharma, which consists of yajna, which consists of worship of archa, vigraha, etc. Which consists of going to the forest, ultimately taking vanaprastha and meditating on Vishnu. There are various stages, in Varnashram. Various ashrams are there, various varnas are there, and they take care of various aspects of Varnashram. Yajna is one of the most important aspects of Varnashram. Taking vanaprastha and sannyas and meditating on Vishnu, one of the most important aspects of Varnashram. Now, if somebody says, I will do Harinam Sankirtan, the previous yugas and the authorities of previous yugas will ask, what about your role in Varnashram?
Okay.
Who will take care of that? You are born in a Varnashram system, you are going against your Varna and Ashram, leaving all of that, and simply you will do Harinam Sankirtan. It is Treta Yuga, and you you have to you are Grihastha, you have to perform Yajna. Who will perform Yajna if you will sit down and do Sankirtan? There are many arguments like that. Now comes Kali Yuga. All the Varna and Ashram system is hopelessly broken beyond repair. People who are claiming to restore Varnashram are having the toughest time of their lives in trying to do so. Because that system was created by Shri Krishna. It was destroyed by the effect of time, Kala, and to restore it is impossible. So, you can have a parallel system called Devi Varnashram, but you can't have that original Varnashram back. Sorry, it is not possible. So then what do you do in such an age? Yajna, not possible easily. You don't have the entire village to support you. You don't have. I'll tell you, there are some places, even today, Yajna gives results. I had, maybe in the Upadeshamritam series, I had specified, or I don't know if I had specified or not, but I'll specify once again, that there is an entire village in the southern part of India where they perform Yajna, and after the Yajna, it rains. The test of the Yajna succeeded that it rains. And this Yajna, you can, the many scientists who wanted to study what is going on, so they studied it, and then you can search on YouTube or Google. It is called Atiratram, Panjal Atiratram. I will share the name of the spelling. You can Atiratra Yajna. It takes place in Kerala, and then at the end of the Yajna, there is rainfall. The scientists come to document it, how it is happening. So they do it in the summer season, and the test is that it should rain. And then the scientists say, well, they are trying to do cloud seeding or something through the Yajna or something like that. But ultimately, it is the effect of the Yajna. The entire village comes together and performs Panjalati Ratram. And through this performance, rain is immediately ensured. So for many years, they have been performing that. But for that, you need that type of, you need a Nambudiri Brahmin, you need the entire village and how they teach, the Vedas. You can't do it alone, sitting in a city and in an apartment. You cannot do that. So for Kali Yuga is a very different situation. It said in English, there is a proverb: to raise a child, you need a village. So to raise a child, you need a village. You don't need a family, you need a village to raise a child. So similarly, in order to preserve Vedic culture, you need a village, you need a society. That society is no longer there. But if you were fortunate enough to be born at that part of time in history, then you are responsible to maintain the society. Loka Sangraha is the term, and you should fulfill your duty. Lacking which, you will receive a negative reaction, which you don't. That is the answer to it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kamniya Krishna Prabhu and Kamala Mataji. Next, we have Omkar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhāmeśvara. Thank you for the wonderful lecture, Prabhuji. Before the question, Prabhu, I had just answer which you had given in one of the lecture. Like I think in one of lecture you said for the Kamaniya Krishna Prabhu's question that in every yuga kirtan is important, but just that because nothing works in Kali Yuga, that's why the importance becomes more. Somewhere I heard in your lecture, I think it was from somewhere or something. And probably my question was, when we are speaking about Sayujya Mukti, so in Preeti Sandarbha, actually there are two variations of it, like Brahma Sayujya and then Bhagavad Sayujya. So are they two variations or are they just two stages of thing? Like for example, you were explaining that a jiva who has got Brahma Sayujya, he can act through the body of Lord Vishnu. So is it that ki Brahma Sayujya and then he's just acting through the body of Lord Vishnu, or is it that these are two different Sayujya? This was a question from last one.
Okay, so in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is specified that there are two types of mukti. I will share that exact reference so that you will get to know. This is what the Chaitanya Charitamrita says. Brahme Ishware Sayujya Duita Prakar. Now, what is the meaning of Duita Prakar?
Two types.
So, this is Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami giving the clear understanding. Brahma Sayujya Haite Ishwar Sayujya Dhikar. So, Ishwar Sayujya Dhikar. Basically, it says that merging in the Lord's body is more abominable than merging into his effulgence. So, basically, there are two types of Sayujya specified clearly in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Brahma Sayujya and Ishwar Sayujya. So this is the answer to your question. Right. This is Madhya Leela 6.269.
So Prabhuji, the explanation which you give of the jiva acting through the body of Lord Vishnu, is it applicable for this Ishwar Sayujya or Bhagavad Sayujya?
See, mainly it is Ishwar Sayujya. Somebody acts through the bodily limbs of Vishnu. And somebody wants to take a form in between and serve Bhagwan Mukta Api Lila, what I quoted today. That can also happen with somebody who has Brahma Sayujya. Right. So this is also possible. But the main query is about whether there are two types. Yes, there are two types of, and this is specified clearly in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Right.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Done it.
Next we have Nritya Gauranga.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Once again, as usual, it was a wonderful, fantastic class. Thank you once again. And also thanks to Dhāmeśvara Mahāprabhu for glorifying fully Prabhuji's, and also Kamaniya Krishna Prabhu for glorifying Dhāmeśvara Prabhu. I just want to second, because in the interest of time, I just want to quickly go to my question. Thank you, Prabhuji. The question is, in the Kali Yuga, we also do the yajnas. So as Prabhuji, you mentioned that depending on, like a lot of people now, even though they are not taking birth in the Brahmin families, because of the Brahmana Diksha, they also take the role of the Brahmana and then do the performance or yajnas in different parts of the world, especially in ISKCON. So, and definitely we see that sometimes they'll not be able to pronounce the words properly, correctly. But at the end of the yajna, we have this prayer, Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Janardana Et Pujitam Maya Deva Paripurnam Tadastumi. So, so we are asking the forgiveness from the Lord that I may not be able to pronounce the mantra correctly, but yet I want the Lord to, because he resides in the heart, he can understand my mood, so he can know what I actually wanted, but I might have mispronounced it. So please fulfill this, my desire, or whatever was supposed to have happen, or whatever for that yajna. So, how? My question is, how can we, even if somebody pronounces the mantra wrongly, will the Lord not take it to take into consideration that yes, his intention was not that, but due to various reasons, he would have pronounced it wrongly. So I just want to know your thoughts on that.
So in our devotee societies, we are having yajnas, and you said you took the name of one society, which is ISKCON. We are having a guess, and though it is not society specific, but whatever yajnas are there in Gaudiya Vaishnava societies are also more or less yajnas for related to bhakti. During Diksha, there is a yajna which takes place. This yajna has no material results. The result of this particular yajna is to, formal acceptance of the disciple in front of the various deities and in front of Bhagwan. So this is the purpose of the yajna. Although in Hari Bhakti Vilas, traditionally, a guru and disciple, like how the 6 Goswamis used to accept disciples, there was no yajna at that time. It's just giving of mantra, basically. So it's not a compulsion to have a yajna during Diksha. But in our society, we have it. Similarly, if you see in the Gaudiya Math also, sometimes there would be some yajnas because the Satkriya Sardipika and Samskar Dipika, they specify performance of some homa. But it is much lesser in the Gaudiya Math and it has increased somewhat in ISKCON. So nothing incorrect with increasing as long as it is related to worship of Vishnu. Nowadays, sometimes I am seeing there are yajnas related to Narsimhadev, Shanti Yajna, this, and many new yajnas have come up. These were not previously in the Gaudiya Math, especially during the time of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhu. In any case, all the yajnas that we perform are yajnas for spiritual advancement, and the result is not to be seen in the form of some material achievement. But in previous ages, the yajnas were for material achievement. That is Putra Kameshti, attaining son, attaining child, Putra Kameshti Yajna, etc. Draupadi was born out of Yajna. Today, if you want to see a Yajna give material result, I specified, see Panjalati Ratram, immediate rain after Yajna. You can see videos on YouTube about Panjalati Ratram. We will see immediate rain after Yajna in the summer season. So, but Vaishnava Yajnas are not for material results. Therefore, whatever is chanted is so that whatever obstacle is there in attaining the spiritual results, let those obstacles be removed by the mercy of Bhagavan. That's all. Right?
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Next, we have a question from Parama Karuna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
My pranams.
My connection may drop, in which case I can ask question later, Prabhuji. So please feel free to move on.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the very wonderful class. Just one word, you went so deeply, Shreya. Thank you so much. Prabhuji, my question is again related to this thread of questions that has been coming up about performing bhakti after attaining impersonal liberation. And in Bhagavad Gita, there is the 18.54, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatmana Shochati na Kankshati Sammoha Sarvabhuteshu Bad Bhaktim Labhate Param.
Yeah.
So, Prabhuji, my question is that, is it the right understanding that even in this verse, which is talking about impersonal liberation, there is some kind of a meaning or a interpretation or understanding or some connotation that upon attaining this stage of impersonal liberation, one may or one does perform my bhakti, the mad bhaktim labhate param. If you could kindly clarify or in this context of discussion, explain that verse, I would really appreciate it.
I'll first explain how Srila Sridhar Swami explains that verse, because his explanation is one of the genuine explanations on Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. He says, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati. This is all right, this we understand. A person who is Brahma Bhuta is joyous, doesn't lament, doesn't desire anything material. Samaha sarveshu bhuteshu. by seeing everybody on equal platform, seeing my presence to be in everybody. Mad Bhaktim. That is the way he becomes my devotee, by seeing myself in everybody. In the third canto, Kapila Muni says that one who perceives me only within the deity, but doesn't perceive me within the heart of the living entities. Such a separatist, I give him a rebirth and make him suffer through the material world again. But this person who sees the presence of Bhagwan in everybody, his seeing the presence of Bhagwan in everybody is his bhakti. That is the meaning of Mad Bhaktim Labhate Param, as Srila Sridhar Swami explains. Srila Sridhar Swami says in his commentary to this particular verse, Mad Bhavana Lakshanam Param Mad Bhaktim Labhate. Mad Bhavana Lakshanam. So, his Krishna consciousness is to see Krishna present within everybody's heart. That is the Krishna consciousness that he has. So that is the bhakti that he starts executing. And if he is more fortunate than then he will receive the association of a devotee, and then he will render personal service to Bhagavan. But the basic level of bhakti he receives is that he starts perceiving Krishna consciousness within the heart of each and every living entity. So that is the meaning of Mad Bhaktim Labhate Param, as explained by Srila Sridhar Swami. So I hope that clarifies to a certain degree.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I have a question, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the language for my question, but it's about how karma yoga, and especially yagas and fire sacrifices, work. So I'm thinking of comparing it to chemistry. Chemistry is also very precise. You know, if I add these particular chemicals together, it should have this reaction. If it doesn't have the reaction I want to, then I can study the cause and effect of how different elements interact with each other, and we can even get down to a molecular level and all that. So there's some sort of there's something this science is getting in touch with certain aspect of reality. So when someone's performing a yajna and they're pronouncing the mantras, what part of reality is that manipulating, and why is it that a mispronunciation will not have the right effect? Is it the demigods are listening, or is there like something programmed into reality that's being manipulated? Do you understand my question?
Yeah. So when a particular person, let me rephrase it, when a particular person is performing a Vedic sacrifice, which part of reality are they trying to modify? And if they mispronounce it, in which part of reality does the error take place, which doesn't give the result? So that is your query. This query is an
Yes.
yeah. Okay. This query can be answered by I had given a talk at ISKCON Chowpatty Mandir where I specified that everything in the universe has three aspects, which is called as, first aspect is called as Adhibhuta, second is called as Adhyatma, third is called as Adhideva. Three aspects to everything. These are called as three bhavas. Three bhavas means Adhibhuta is the material aspect, and Adhyatma is the aspect pertaining to your body and mind, and Adhideva is the aspect pertaining to the presiding deities. So the raw material which goes in a yajna, the wood, the fire, whatever it is, what we see through our naked eye, it pertains mainly to the Adhibhuta aspect. The feelings that we invest in the yajna, our mental feelings, the verses that we chant through our body, anything that takes place through our body, mind, belongs to Adhyatma aspect. But beyond Adhibhut and Adhyatma, there is a third aspect which is called as Adhideva, the aspect of the Devatas, who are the receivers of the yajna. And Shri Krishna specifies these three aspects also in the Gita. Originally, these three aspects are specified in the Gita. Let me specify. Yeah. In the Gita, Arjun asks in 8.1, Arjun says, Kim Tad Brahma, Kim Adhyatma. He says Adhyatma aspect, then he says Adhibhuta aspect, and then he says Adhideva. In 8.1, he asks about all these three aspects. Now, modern day science is mainly a very materialistic view of the universe, which removes any Adhideva aspect from it. And because it removes that Adhideva aspect from it, therefore, many people perceive a yajna as being some sort of manipulation of matter without any involvement of a higher deity. So that this is where the disconnect between modern science and a Vedic perception of the universe occurs. A Vedic perception of the universe has an Adhidaiva aspect, which is not present within modern science. And since we are speaking about this, there's a very nice book which came out on this topic, and this book was written by a scientist called as Rupert Sheldrake. I don't know if you have heard of this book. I'll give the name of this book because this book was not liked by the scientific community so much. It is called The Science Delusion. It is by Rupert Sheldrake. And in this book, he specifies he takes the main tenets of modern science and he tests them against scientific belief. And he shows that many of the mindsets which have developed in modern science are actually anti-scientific. So this particular book, The Science Delusion, and he also gave a talk about it, which is available on YouTube. This talk was banned. It was a TED talk. It was banned later, but somehow people found out that TED talk and uploaded it again. So the TED talk by Rupert Sheldrake gives a summary of his book on the science delusion. And one of the delusions of science is that the laws of the universe are fixed and there is nothing beyond materialism in this universe. And he says that this is all false assumption. The laws of the universe are in a constant state of flux, and there are higher powers beyond gross materialistic vision that the scientists have today. So this is what I'd like to say in this particular regard. I hope that answers your query to a certain degree of satisfaction.
Thank you so much. Great answer. And just a clarifying follow-up. So the answer is that the reason why a mispronunciation would affect the outcome of the yajna is because of the demigods.
Yeah, the devatas, because it is specified in many places in Shastra that the devatas, the main purpose of yajna is to elevate oneself to Swarga. But the devatas, they do not let anybody enter easily onto their particular level of consciousness, because anybody who enters into their level of is a direct competitor to their resources. Therefore, even in the sacrifice of Prithu Maharaj, he had to perform 100 Ashwamedha yajnas. It was Indra who became envious of Maharaj Prithu, and Maharaj Prithu was able to perform 99, and then he was told, just leave it at this particular point, leave it. The devatas consider anybody who's trying to elevate themselves to heaven as competitors. So there is competition in the universe, and the devatas look up to these people as competitors. Don't try. So that is the reason.
Okay, that clarifies. It's more psychology than chemistry.
Yes.
Okay. Next we have a question from Soumya Chit Malik. According to the Krishna Samhita of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it is stated that different ages have different Taraka Brahma Nama. So can we safely say that the people of different ages also performed Nam Kirtan?
There is Tarak Nam specified by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur for different ages. In Kali Yuga, it's Hare Krishna mantra. In previous yugas, he has specified that there are different mantras. So the question is that is it safe to say? I think he deleted the question.
Is it safe to say that people do Nam Kirtan in all the different yugas?
Yeah, they can perform Nam Kirtan in all the different yugas, but as I said, different yugas are not simply about performing Nam Kirtan. They come also with a heavy responsibility of Varnashram. I'll also like to specify, I'll like to speak in little more detail about this. There was the Shankaracharya of Kashi. His name was Swami Karpatri. The name is Karpatri because Kar means hands, Patra means vessel. He only used to eat what could fit in his hands. So his name was Swami Karpatri. And he particularly wrote a book called as Sankirtan and Varnashram. So that book by him is available, Sankirtan and Varnashram, where he says that, gradually this Sankirtan movement is trying to damage the borders of Varnashram. That was his concern in Kali Yuga. That, by this Sankirtan, we make everybody into a Brahmana and, everybody. So there should be, Sankirtan should not harm Varnashram. That was his main concern, basically. So, so this concern is present in Kali Yuga. What to speak of this concern being present in previous yugas? What to speak of that? Even when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing his Sankirtan, the Prakashanand Saraswati and everybody else, they were like concerned, hey, you are sannyasi. According to Varnashram, you're supposed to study Vedanta. This is not what you're supposed to do. Eating full prashad till your neck and chanting and dancing on the streets. This is not the role of a son. You are creating a disturbance in the Varnashram system, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So even at that time, the Shankaracharyas were concerned. And even recently, as I said, the Kashi Shankaracharya wrote a book about Sankirtan Mimamsa, about Sankirtan and Varnashram. So, what to speak of previous ages when people were very proactive about preserving Varnashram? Very proactive about that. Very proactive about preserving family lineages. Very proactive about preserving the status of Varna and Ashramas. So, it is possible to chant Bhagwan's Naam in those ages, but the resistance of the society is much greater. Therefore, you will find maybe you will find a few doing Naam Sankirtan as their choicest process in previous ages. Maybe those who are outside the Varnashram system, you will find them to be doing that. But those who are within the Varnashram system, you will not find them that so easy. That is the answer to the question.
Thank you. Next, we have a question from Kriparama Prabhu.
Dandavat pranam. I'm audible.
Yes, Prabhu. Please continue.
In relation that you explained that Jiva Goswami says something about the Brahma Gayatri, I have one query because Srila Bhaktirasak Siddhartha Goswami Maharaj, in the commentary of the Brahma Gayatri, he said that this commentary is very nice, and he developed the meaning in the Brahma Gayatri that Deva is Krishna and the ultimate goal of Brahma Gayatri is Radhasyan. And in the commentary, he wrote that he listened that Jiva Goswami played something like that the Istadeva of the Brahma Gayatri is Krishna, but he can find the reference, and he tried to find in the Jiva Goswami books, but he can't find. Maybe it's the reference that you explained, and if it's possible to show me this reference of Jiva Goswami.
Which reference, Prabhu?
That you explained that Jiva Goswami has some commentary of Brahma Gayatri.
Jiva Goswami did not write a commentary. Jiva Goswami took from Agni Puran directly, and he compiled a book on the explanation of Brahma Gayatri. This explanation of Brahma Gayatri comes directly from Agni Puran. And in that Agni Puran, I let me show you Gayatri Vyakhya by Sri Jiva Goswami. And let me show you what he says. But it has the terms of Gayatri. Therefore, I will show you what he says in that particular Gayatri Vyakhya. I will share my screen. And I will show you very small section. He says Vishnu Surya Agni Rupa Bhag. It is Vishnu who has taken the who's taken the form of Surya and Agni. So he takes a term from the Gayatri and he's saying that that term represents Vishnu, who is the form of Surya, and Agni, the form of the sun and the flares of the sun. So that is what especially this is from the Gayatri Vyakhya of Sri Jiva Goswami, but it is taken directly from Agni Puran. But I will not go into detail because he was explaining one of the terms of Gayatri, which I don't want to explain here, because these are supposed to be received from one's Guru Janas. So, like I received from my Guru, so similarly, everybody should receive from their Diksha Guru who gave them Gayatri. That is it. This is
Okay, thanks a lot, Prabhuji. Dandavats.
my parents.
Next we have Sachindra Krishna Prabhu.
Very good.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, all the Vaishnavas. Thank you so much for such an enlightening class. My question.
I'm very happy
Yeah,
to hear you. I'm very happy to hear you.
Oh, thank you, Prabhu. It's most, a lot of this stuff is over my head, but I'm still very deeply happy and appreciative to have heard from everyone. My question is, mostly on the simple side. It concerns the first two slides in which you said Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj said that kirtan is more preferable to solitary japa. And, you see in the lives of Bhaktisiddhanta himself, Saraswati Maharaj himself, he spent 10 years doing solitary japa, 1 billion names. And also, I don't know if this was with Srila Prabhupada or Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, when someone came and they said, oh, he only wants to do japa, and they took out an ad. He said, put an ad out in the newspaper, and anyone that wants to do japa, we will provide them food and shelter, and they can sit and do japa all day. And so it's a little bit contrary to what then he says that Krishna Anushilanam is strictly, trying to do kirtan. So that's one of my query. But then at the same time, if it was that Krishna Anushilanam is to do kirtan, why do we have, the acharyas in our age give like 64 rounds, 16 rounds, and then why not just do 4 rounds or less and focus more on the Nam Sankirtan versus solitary japa? Thank you.
All right. So let me specify this. The mood in what as set by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada was to identify individuals according to their tendency, whether they are interested more in bhajan or whether they're interested more in prachar or preaching. Those who are interested more in bhajan, there were certainly some facilities for them in the Gaudiya Math. The example you yourself gave, that there was an advertisement published by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada once. Anybody who can chant 64 rounds daily is welcome. We will take care of all of their needs and necessities. From that advertisement, Shri Akinchan Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj came to the Gaudiya Math, and lifelong he stayed within the Gaudiya Math and practiced his Nam Bhajan. That facility was also there, but that was not encouraged so much. What was encouraged more was Kirtan, and not only Kirtan, Sankirtan. And Sankirtan also took a new dimension in the Gaudiya Math in the form of the printing press. If you see the logo of the Gaudiya Math, so you will see a printing press right in the logo of the Gaudiya Math. So there is Sankirtan, which was part of the vision of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And from that, Brihat Sankirtan means studying of books, printing of books, writing of new articles, everything was Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Now, Shri Krishna Sankirtanam was not limited to taking a kartal and mridanga and going on the street. That was Kirtan, Sankirtan. But there is Brihat Sankirtan. Brihat Sankirtan is writing articles about the path of bhakti, every day writing something new. And this is the same purpose Srila Prabhupada also had Back to Godhead magazine. But the articles that came out from the press of the Gaudiya Math, you should see the quality and the level of those articles. Really, they were Sri Krishna Sankirtanam in a very nice manner. As long as the physical presence of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada was there, there was a Dainik Nadia Prakash, daily newspaper Can we imagine printing a daily newspaper with fresh articles every day with content of bhakti and nothing copy pasted from the past? So this was the level of Sankirtan that they were doing. And compared to that, today we don't do anything much. We have maybe once a month, we may be having a magazine or something like that. But
Yes.
so that was a different level of Sankirtan, which most of us don't understand today. Because today, once again, our definitions of Sankirtan have become Sankirna. They have become narrowed down only to, some people confuse Japa and Sankirtan and says, my 16 rounds is my Sankirtan. This is one level of error. Some other people, they don't understand that Sankirtan means audible utterance of Bhagwan's Nama, Guna, Rupa and Leela. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur very much acknowledged that Nirjan Bhajan, solitary bhajan, is also bhakti. And in fact, it is that bhakti which was preferred by the 6 Goswamis. But he also understood a fact that most people of the modern day and age don't come from families which have that background where a person can live peacefully in the forest and perform Nam Bhajan. Most people come from family backgrounds where they are born and brought up in the cities and they need a constant exposure to people. In this, performing solitary bhajan was more or less, he had also seen that many people on the pretext of solitary bhajan had become lazy people, deviated and just sleeping and collecting money. So much better than that is to engage them in Sankirtan. But he was never against a genuine Bhajananandi. Never. He would never go to there was this Vamshidas Babaji, or he would never pass such remarks against those Babajis who were genuine. But when he saw that there was laziness and just sitting at one place and eating or deviating from the principles in the name of Nirjan Bhajan, that is where he said, better you do Sri Krishna Sankirtan. Come to us, Gaudiya Math. We will engage you. You want engagement, we'll engage you and we'll take care of you. And help us in our printing press. Help us in our publishing of articles. That is also Sri Krishna Sankirtan. So, I'll tell you one thing. One of my very close friends, he's a devotee, and but he's unable to walk. He cannot walk. His legs don't function properly. A few years ago, he started writing beautiful articles on the internet about Krishna Bhakti. And some devotees told him, well, do some practical seva, don't just write articles on the internet. So when I heard that particular thing, it came as a surprise to me. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada would come to know that somebody is doing prachar on the internet and giving articles on Krishna Bhakti to so many hundreds and thousands of people. He would say, this is Sankirtan, Brihat Vridanga. He would be very happy. But look at where we are today, where we say that practical seva, practical, don't just be a keyboard warrior trying to write articles on the internet. So this is also practical seva as far as Sankirtan is concerned, and that Bhajananandi is also very nice. But if somebody has the proper samskars and somebody is not becoming lazy while performing their bhajan, both are appreciated by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. That is the answer.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. That really helps. Thank you.
Yeah, I would also like to quote something in this particular, because the quote that I took from Sri Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj ahead in that particular thing, in that particular book, he says something, and I'd like to quote that. You can see my screen, Prabhuji? I will share my screen, and can you read something?
We can't see it yet.
Yeah, can you see?
Now we can see it.
Yeah. So this is the question and answer, Prabhu. Can you read the question, Prabhu?
Yes. How many rounds did your Guru Maharaj ask his initiated disciples to chant each day? Did he prescribe any set number?
Yeah, reply.
His general recommendation was to chant 25,000 names, 16 rounds daily, or at least 4 rounds minimum. When someone had no work, he could chant 100,000 names or 64 rounds.
Alright, so on Ekadashi, when nothing else is to be done, 64 rounds. On Ekadashi also, if somebody would go out for prachar, for preaching, he would become very happy. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would say, did you take prasad today? Take prasad and go out for prachar. That is much better than fasting and doing your 64 and not doing any prachar. So he always emphasizing on Sri Krishna Sankirtan. All right. So please read the next question.
Would Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur give Harinam initiation to someone who could only chant 4 rounds daily?
All right. So what is the answer? Please see.
There was no such consideration. Formerly, one had to do some counting, but there was no rigid limitation. What he wanted from us was intense engagement in the service of the Lord under the guidance of a Vaishnava, because the all-important point is service. Our attainment of the goal is not ensured simply by increasing the number of times we repeat the name. Only by increasing the quality will we reach success.
All right. So this is the mode. So what he wanted, this is the crux. What he wanted from us was intense engagement in service of the Lord under the guidance of a Vaishnava, because the all important point is service. This captures the mood of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada in a single statement. So I hope that answers your query.
Yes, wonderful, Prabhupada. Thank you so much.
Prabhuji, usually when we speak of different levels of spiritual practices, we quote the Ramananda Samvad. And I was curious if there was a reason you found Krishna's instructions to Uddhava more suitable for this presentation.
The reason is because in Ramananda Samvad, it all goes all the way up to Shri Radha's mood. Go all the way up to Shri Radha's mood. And when you go to Shri Radha, what does Shri Radha consider as Shreya? A question may be asked. What does Shri Radha consider as Shreya? We may say that, this is Shreya for various sadhakas. But if we go on deeper level, on Ramananda Samvad level, it ultimately ends up with the mood of Shri Radha. Question arises, is there some Shreya for Shri Radha? Let's think about this. As Shri Radha said somewhere, what is Shreya for her? I thought about it before I researched into this particular talk, and whether I should get into it or not. So, there is a particular verse in the Ujjwal Nilmani which specifies the mood of Sri Radha and which has the term Shreya in it. So this is the verse in Sri Ujjwal Nilmani. Ekasya shrutameva lumpati matim krishneti namaksharam sandronmada paramparamparanaya atyanyasya vamshikala esha snigdha ghanadyutirmanasi me lagna sakrit vikshana kashtam dik purushatraye ratirabhum manye mriti shreyasi. She is speaking about Shreya. What is Shreya for her? She is Ekasya Shrutam Eva Lumpati Matim Krishneti Namaksharam. I heard the name of one person. This is before she met Shri Krishna. Formally, she met Shri Krishna. I heard the name of one person. This name was Krishna. As soon as the syllables entered my ears, Lumpati Matim, I lost my mind. Sandron Mada Paramparam Apanayati. Anyasya Vamshikala. After a few days, I heard flute, sweet flute. Somebody was playing, I don't know. And I started, swooning in ecstasy. Series of ecstasies came onto me. And Esha Snigdha Dyutir Manasime. And now I am seeing this fine dark complexion, radiant dark complexion. My mind is reeling again. Kashtam Dhik Purushatraya. Alas, What will people say? She is attracted to three people at once. One whose name is Krishna, one who is playing the flute, and one whose bodily complexion is. So she doesn't understand that these three are the same person, basically. She's Kashtam Dekh Purushat Rahe. For a lady to become attracted to three people, people will spread rumors about me. She's attracted to one boy whose name is Krishna. She's attracted to another boy who plays the flute very well. She's attracted to a third boy who has this dark complexion. She doesn't understand that these three are the same person. He says, Manye Mriti Shreyasi. I think death is Shreya for me. I think right now, death is Shreya for me. If I include this in the presentation, then I will have to say that death is Shreya for her. And then I'll have to say that Sri Krishna Sankirtanam will bloom that water lily of Shreya, which I don't want to take that direction at this point. Because that's why I didn't do a recap of Brahman and Samad. For Sri Radha, in separation from Krishna, death is Shreyas. So, what should I say? This is why I cannot go in this direction.
Some people also say Tava Kata Mritam.
Tava Kata Amritam. Yeah. Your Kata is death, actually.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you for a wonderful class and all the time you take preparing and presenting and answering questions. We're very, very grateful for your association. I'll invite all the devotees now to unmute and give a big thank you.
There is Sachinandan Prabhu. Sachinandan Prabhu.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you. I didn't see that. We have a question from Sachinandana Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Dhanavad Pranam, Hare Pārṣad Prabhu.
I'm so happy to see you, Prabhu.
Dhanavad Pranam. Thank you so much for such a beautiful class, and especially this last verse. So I would request that why hold back the ras from all of us? Please kindly explain this verse slightly more, if I may humbly request that.
So, this particular verse from the Ujjwal Nilmani, this particular verse occurs in the Sthayi Bhav Prakaranam. Sthayi Bhav Prakaranam is where Sri Rupa Goswami is discussing, because there are many aspects of Ras, Vibhav, Anubhav, Sthayi Bhav, Vyabhichari Bhav. So there are many particular sections of Bhakti Ras being discussed. In this particular, he is discussing Sthayi Bhav, and in the 14th chapter of Sthayi Bhav, this particular verse is verse number 11 or 12 in certain editions, and he is discussing the Vishay. Vishay means he is discussing the subject of this Rasa, and Ekasya Shrutameva Lumpati Matim, that he says that Shri Krishna as the player of the flute, and Shri Krishna as the Shyam Kishore. These three are being perceived as different personalities by Sri Radha, although he is the same personality. Sri Rupa Goswami has said in previously, Shabda Sparshadayah Pancha Vishayaha Kila Vishruta. He said that Shabda, the sound, the touch, the fragrance, the sight, they are all Vishayas, they are all the subject of this particular Madhurya Ras. And then he gives an example where Sri Radha is experiencing these, and she is considering them to be separate. The Shabda as a separate inspiration, the sound as a separate inspiration, the sight as a separate inspiration, his name as a separate inspiration for experience of this particular ras. So, when she sees, Vishaka gives her a painting of Sri Krishna, she sees that dark bluish, dark blackish complexion, and she thinks, oh my God, one fine day I was hearing the name Krishna, and I got attracted. And that is a different person. And one fine day I am, hearing the flute and I got attracted. That is a different person. And this is a different person. Her mind is unable to come to terms with the fact that this is one and the same person. And to become attached to somebody, one person besides your husband is considered as deplorable. Look at me, I am attached to 3 people besides my husband. What is the prayaschitta? What is atonement for me? So Manye Amriti Shreyasi. I think death is the proper atonement. Death is the Shreya for me. So this is, somewhat in detail I can explain, but beyond that we'll have to go to the Sanskrit commentaries. But I'm so happy, Sachinandan Prabhu, to see you. And because Sachinandan Prabhu is he's my dear friend, and although he belongs to Gaudiya Math and I belong to ISKCON, but we have a bond which is beyond, the borders of the institution. And I'm so happy to have you as a very dear friend, Sachinandan. Thank you so much for being such a like-minded Sahriday friend to me. Thank you, Prabhuji. Please, let's unmute him if he wants to say something.
Okay.
Prabhuji, thank you very much. This is
I'm sorry.
your friend. Oh, Hare Krishna, can you hear me, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Please don't consider me your friend. Please consider me your servant. Hare Krishna.
So,
I'm very, very happy to hear this. So happy. And also, I know this is public forum, but we were blessed with a baby boy just day before yesterday. So
many congratulations, Prabhuji. Putrotsav, celebration of the birth of a son. Many and
so please allow me.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Please allow me to be like Nanda Maharaj and serve the Vaishnavas. So please allow me the opportunity to serve you and all the Vaishnavas on this call.
No, Prabhu, Atma Vai Putra Namasi. The Vedas say the father takes birth again in the form of the son. So, many congratulations, Prabhu, in the form of your. Yes.
I pray that he's under your shelter and under the shelter of Gurujanas. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
And we have a question from Bhagavat Kata Prabhu.
Sure, why not?
Hare Krishna, This, both of us are hearing together, Puji. I'm Samarpan Gopdas. Thank you so much for clear explanations in your talks, Puji. One word and about Siksastakam. My question is about this quality and quantity of the sound vibration. It can be a holy name or holy fame. So question may not be directly connected, but I think it is connected, so you can decide.
Yeah.
So when I read Srila Prabhupada's purport on this Kunti Maharani prayer, where what is the Dhāmeśvara Shitashibhiri Dhamanamada Puman Naivarhatya Abhidhamai Tama Kinchana Gochara. So Prabhupada writes that quality of utterance means quality of feeling.
Right.
So when it comes to that quality, so then when we say number of rounds or number of hours of glorification, it's a Vaikhari which is done. Whereas when we say quality of feeling, it is not just Vaikhari sound which we create, but what is our intention and what is our motivation and what is our goal. So all these other forms of sound also are there. So I just wanted to understand about that. The other forms of sound are quite subtle and it's not that it can be understood so easily by seeing number of hours or number of rounds. So how do we understand this? Just I want to understand these 4 kinds of sound and its connection with the quality and quantity.
So basically, there are, Vaikhari, Para, Pashyanti. These are the, Vaikhari, Para, Pashyanti, and then there is Madhyama, Vaikhari para pashyanti. So these are levels of sound that are specified in various shastras, and when we chant only through the mouth, what comes out is Vaikhari. Vaikhari is the gross physical manifestation of sound, and para, pashyanti, these are various more subtle levels of sound. So Srila Prabhupada, when he is saying that in the prayers of Kunti Maharani, when he is saying that Janmaishwarya Shruta Shri Viredhamana Madhapan, there is not only quantity, basically what comes out as Vaikhari, but also the feeling within the heart. You can say that this belongs to the para level, or this belongs, because it belongs to para, also the Pashyanti level. So gradually it filters down and comes out through Vaikhari. But mainly it begins within the mind. Now the mind is material, but because it is in contact with Shri Krishna Nam, Shri Jiva Goswami has explained in the commentary to Anyabhilashita Shunyam, that because Bhakti Devi spiritualizes even the material mind and the material senses. So on the para and Pashyanti level, Bhakti spiritualizes the entire effort, and whatever comes out through the Vaikhari also becomes spiritualized in that sense. So although sound is, what comes out through Vaikhari is material, but by contact of Bhakti Devi, which is a vritti, a function of the Hladini Shakti, by that contact, just as iron in contact with fire also becomes like fire, similarly material senses in contact with Bhakti also becomes spiritualized to a certain degree. So that is the answer to the query. I hope I was able to do some justice, although it requires more detailed discussion in this regard.
Yes, Prabhuji, I got some understanding. Prabhuji. Thank you.
All right.
Continue hearing.
Yeah, maybe we can, because para pashyanti, these are all levels which first need explanation for the entire audience also. So maybe we can put it in the Q&A, and in Q&A I'll put the definitions of para pashyanti, etc., and so that everybody can understand. Right.
Yes, Prabhuji, surely I will put it, Prabhuji. Means I
Sure.
will ask and
Yeah.
enlighten. I want to understand them properly.
Sure. Right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So thank you everyone so much for the wonderful questions. Everything was really clearly written and articulated, made things really smooth and wonderful. Thank you so much. And again, thank you, Hari Parshad Prabhu. I'm going to ask everyone to unmute now and give a big thank you to our dear teacher.
Dhanwad Pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you.
Hari Parshad
Thank
Prabhuji.
you so much.
Dhanwad Pranam, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much.
Thank
We
you,
love you.
Prabhuji. Thank you.
श्रीमान हरिपार्षद प्रभु जी की जय थैंक यू
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you so
Krishna.
much.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vipassha Prabhuji, thank you so much for wonderful classes. And you are taking so much of pains to, go through all the literatures to, enlighten us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you
Hare
very much,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.